Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Hello, my friends. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley, and I'm coming to you from the second layer of the Wolf's Den. I hope this finds you happy, healthy, and safe in this 2021. This is the WolfMan Ramble, and we're going to be recapping the 2020 WVU football season. Now, the WolfMan Ramble is brought to you by Little General Stores, great prices, convenient locations, and Kegler Sports Bar and Grill, the place where Mountaineers go to watch Mountaineers. And you can get a big Wolfman burger. I highly recommend it. Well, to say the 2020 football season is a little bit crazy, wild, challenges, entertaining, frustrating, and everything probably else in there. Throw it all in, and the kitchen sink. But you know what? Back in the summertime, we didn't know if there's going to be football. And really, whether playing a game or an entire season, kind of looked doubtful. But I have to say this, that we had some great leadership across the land, especially in the Big 12. And that goes to someone that's close to us, two people really in that fact, is President Dr. Gordon Gee, and of course, our Director of Athletics here at WVU, Shane Lyons. And then when you go ahead and you look at those two going in and giving their leadership out to the land, you look at WVU, and once the okay was to go ahead and have a season, you had to look at Deputy Athletics Director Kelly Zinn, and then head football coach Neil Brown, the head of athletic training, Vince Blankenship, the head of Mountaineer Strength and Conditioning, especially football, Mike Joseph. All those leaders had to go get their team together and come out with a superb plan to get mainly entire season. Only one game was not played due to COVID. Phenomenal effort, in my opinion. And I watched it close, and I just can't say enough about everybody that was involved and the selflessness of it all, the dedication to making sure that Mountaineer football went off and what they could do in their own world, in their own control. It was pretty amazing. Now, if football did not go, it would have been hard to see all the improvements that the Mountaineers are making in the football program. And I certainly am going to show that to you today in this show, because there's great things that are happening on the field, good improvements, great things that are happening off the field, excellent improvements. And again, it's all going on within the football program. But before I get into that, I want to talk to you about a special campaign that WVU Athletics is running right now. And of course, you may have already heard of it. It's the WVU Time to Climb campaign. We're asking Mountaineers that can afford it to give $21 a month. That's $252 a year. It goes to a fund to help our Mountaineers compete against the other teams in the Big 12 and some of the other divisions that we play in. Now, you think about $21 a month and saying, what is that? Well, if we can get Mountaineer Nation to really get involved, we can raise a lot of money. Our athletes are competing in the classroom, on the field, on the hard court, in the gymnasium, whatever it is, they're competing. And now we're beginning to compete financially. Look at our athletic facilities. Look at football. It's just amazing. Look at basketball. Building a new Olympic weight room. All those good things are going into it, but they cost money. And although the Mountaineers are coming, we're rising, we still need your help. And your $21 a month can be a huge impact for us as well. So if you want to join, you have to go online. You can join at WVUtime2climb.com. Now that's WVU time, the number 2, and then climb.com. One more time. WVUtime2climb.com, and you can join up and you can give your $21 a month $252 a year at one time, or you can give more. But it is whatever you can give, and join and become a part of the Mountaineer Athletic Club, the fundraising arm of WVU Athletics. And let's make sure we come up and support our Mountaineers. We love our Mountaineers. We live our Mountaineers. I joined, my family joined, Coach Brown, Coach Huggy Bear joined. All are joining to support that can. We would appreciate it if you can do that as well. So I want to talk to you about the culture of what's going on in this WVU football program. Now, you saw what happened on the season, and I'm going to give you the stats. I'm going to show you all that's happening on the field. Hard for me to tell you about what's going on off the field and having you realize, say, hey, yeah, that's WolfMan, it's WolfMan, it's WolfMan, it's WolfMan. Heard it before, done it before. Well, I have been around WVU football and WVU athletics since 1981. I was hanging around my brother Roddy. He came here in 81, and then you had consensus All-American Brian Jozuak, and you had Darryl Talley, the man, Major Harris. I've been through it all the way on up to Pat White and all the great players that have come since then. And, this program is in a rebuilding phase right now. Neil Brown just completed his second season, really his first season as a recruiter, because he came in and, it's tough to get the jump on the recruiting going. Although he got some good players in that class, got better players in this class. We'll get into that as well. But again, instead of me talking to you and telling you about all of the great things that's happening here in the program, because some of you are not getting it in your head. You're not understanding what trust to climb is, because it's trusting it, even though you can't always see the results on the field. It's knowing that a program is in the process, rebuilding from the bottom, and now you're going up. So it's trust to climb. It's easy to trust to climb when you're smashing teams like Kansas State and TCU. But when you're losing to Iowa State, it's not so easy to trust to climb. So this here, again, is coming from a consensus All-American. In fact, it's WVU's 12th ever All-American, Darius Stills, just named it. Now, I had an interview last week with Darius, and it's on goldenbluenation.com. Again, that's goldenbluenation.com. I highly encourage you to go there and watch it, because it is a fantastic interview for Darius. Darius talks about what it is to be a Mountaineer, what it means to him, what it means to be a consensus All-American, but also is what about the culture that's going on here. And instead of me going ahead and telling you, I'm going to let Darius tell you. Dave, as you said, you like to do the right thing, and you put so much into it. I know how hard you work in the weight room and how hard you do everything else you do and represent the Mountaineers and what you've done, all with class, young man, all with class. And when I look at that and I see Coach Brown, and I see his leadership, and, what do you think of the team? Where do you think it's going, and the culture that he is building?
The culture that he's building is just, it's amazing. Some people don't agree on it because of whatever reason, but at the end of the day, he's making everybody better young men, because, they know that only a small percentage of people go from the college to the NFL. So you got to prepare for the life after that, or being a dad, or like going into a job interview. They teach you how to be men and to be accountable. And with Coach Brown being there, and him and Coach Mike Joseph teaming up, it's great, and it's paying off for me. Also, I've learned a lot, just how to be a man, and it's gonna pay off. And I say Coach Brown, Coach Mike, thank you for that.
Well, that's coming from a consensus All-American, Darius Stills, a player that's been through a different coaching regime, and then he sees Coach Brown. And again, he's making young men accountable. He's bringing in good talent, making them accountable. I mean, that says a lot, a whole bunch about a lot of things that are happening off the field. Academics, you can see the honor roll, doing a really good job. We have some great people inside athletics for that. And again, let's go ahead and take a look here at the numbers of this past season. So WVU Football 2020 stats. These stats come from our Director of Football Communications, Mike Montoro. He also got us a comparison from 2019 and 2020 that we're going to be going to. So let's just break this down here. First of all, the Mountaineers this year in 2020 averaged 26.5 points per game, only giving up 20.5 points. So again, they're scoring more points than giving up. as we saw there. In first downs, our offense, the WVU, had 219 first downs, only giving up 160. Pretty good. Rushing yards, the Mountaineers rushed for 1,351 yards, giving up only 1,318 yards in that department. Defensively, they averaged almost 4 yards per rush, which is a big improvement. 4 times 3 is 12 yards. That should be a first down. That's a big, big improvement over last season, which we will certainly get into. And they gave up 3.5 yards per rush. Per game, they gave up 130, or they ran for 135, giving up 131. Okay, so let's go ahead and then look at our passing yards for the Mountaineers. They had 2,775 and giving up only 1,596. Number 1 team in the nation in passing defense. But is that the Big 12 passing defense? Number 1 team in the nation. Okay, we'll get back to that. So offensively, the Mountaineers total is 4,126 yards. They average 5.5 yards per play and 413 yards per game. Defensively, they gave up 2,914. They gave up 4.7 yards per play and a total of 291.4 yards. Now, I want you to listen to me here. The Mountaineers were first in passing defense and 28th in rushing defense, giving up 131 yards a game. They're number 1 team defensively in the country. Listen, in Power 5. They're number 4 team overall in the country. So you have teams like Army, what they played against in the bowl game, go ahead and get up there, but they're not Power 5. So the number 1 defense, Power 5 in the country, was the West Virginia University Mountaineers. We'll continue along here. Third down percentage, the Mountaineers had 42%, giving up 39% to opposing third down. Touchdown scored, the Mountaineers scored 32. They gave up 26. Red zone scores, the Mountaineers were 36 of 41 for 88%. They gave up 17 of 20 for 85%. Red zone touchdowns, the Mountaineers were 25 of 41 for 61%, giving up 12 of 20 for 60%. Good numbers, better numbers. Not there, we're trusting the climb, right? We're continuing to work the climb. So, again, let's look at Letty Brown. Now, Letty Brown averaged about close to 3 yards per rush last season, and the team was abysmal in rushing with something like 73 yards. And we'll do that comparison as well. Letty Brown this year, in 10 games, gained 1,010 yards, netted anyways. He gained 1,068, but he netted 1,010. He averaged 5.1 yards per rush. He had 9 rushing touchdowns. His long against Kansas was 87. He averaged 101 yards per game. Alex Sinkfield, 10 games. He had 78 attempts for 362 yards. He had 327 yards for an average of 4.2 yards per rush, 3 touchdowns, along with 36, and he averaged 33 yards per game. So that's the difference. Now, when you look at Letty at 3 yards to 5 yards, and of course, Letty has excellent receiving ball skill set. So he scored another 2 touchdowns with that, and he was third on the team in receptions. So Letty did more than just run the ball. But what Letty did really well was he broke tackles, and it was tough. And he ran hard. He ran like a man, a determined man, and that's why I came up with the nickname Bad Letty Brown, baddest man in you know what town. Anyways, so that was fun to watch Letty really improve this year, and I wonder what's going to happen next year, especially when we see how the offensive line, tight ends improve. And we're going to get into all this good stuff. I'm fired up, man. I'm psyched up. I hope you are too. So Jared Deggy, 10 games played, efficiency of 132. He completed 239 out of 374. He had 14 touchdowns as opposed to 4 interceptions. He threw for 64%, 2,587 yards, and along with 70, and he averaged about 259 yards per game. Now let's go into receivers, and I know that the last game and season there were some drops and quite a few drops, and it's got to be addressed. But this receiver pool is really going to be something special, in my opinion. When you look at, you got Winston Wright. He had 47 receptions. Sam James at 31. Bryce Ford Wheaton 27. Sean Ryan 25. You had TJ Simmons at 23. He's gone. Michael Laughlin, the tight end, he had 15 catches. I'm telling you right now, the tight end era is coming. I'm going to show you on video. The tight end era, you know what? It's here. It is here. Let's watch that. So then you got Reese Smith, the freshman, had 11 receptions. Really did something nice in that bowl game, didn't he? Yeah, that was pretty cute. And then Sam Brown, well, I thought against Iowa State, I thought he was the only receiver that could really go out there and catch and do some nice things, and as well as Army games. So you're seeing these young receivers. Now we think about, what's coming in. Well, let's talk about, those stats and who's coming in and all that good stuff. But we got to look again at defensively the players. Now, I just got done telling you this is the number one defensive team in the country. Power five. They believe they're number 4 overall. But again, when I'm looking at all of these returning players, Tony Fields, obviously, who led the team in tackles, is not returning. We were going to watch him in the NFL. Alonzo Adai, the second on the team in tackles, returns. Josh Chandler Semedo, 13 tackles against Army and an interception to end the game. He's returning as well. Tyke Smith, a couple All-Americans, should have been Big 12 all the way. It should have been Big 12. And then you look at Troy Fortune, Dante Stills, Akeem Mesidor, Drayshawn Miller, Jared Bartlett. And again, I would say that there might be a surprise or two for maybe a senior or two, as I said, returning. So when you look at these stats, there's a nucleus right here of defensive players. Now, when we keep talking, you heard Darius talk about the culture. I just gave you the stats of what they did this past season. And we have to go ahead and we have to look at, of course, is what's the comparison of 2019, 2020? We're trusting the climb, right? So why should we trust the climb? What's the improvement that we see? Well, here is the improvement. When you look here at the 2019, 2020 Mountaineer comparison, again, this is Director of Football, Mike Montoro. He has got all the stats. Him and the signal caller are like the two stat guys here at WVU. And of course, you got Johnny Antonic, who's the historian. So those three together make a pretty good team. So wins, you look at 2019, 5 wins, obviously, 6 this past year. That's an improvement of 1. Scoring offense. So there's 20.6 points in 2019. The Mountaineers scored. This year they scored 26.5 plus 6.5. Scoring defense, 28.8. 2019, 2020, they only allowed 20.5. That's minus 8.3 points per game. So when you put that together, my math is lousy, but 8 and 6 is 14, and that would be 14.8. So you're talking about a 15-point swing in a game. Offensively, defensively. Offensively, defensively. 15-point swing. Passing offense. Okay, we're going to look at 249 yards in 2019, 277 yards 2020, 28 yards. Okay, let's see here now. You look at the rushing offense. Mountaineers, again, I said it, 73.2 yards per game last season, 2019, 135.1, and they were actually higher. Didn't finish as well down the stretch, but the offensive line is improving. The tight ends are improving, and it was a plus this year of 61 yards. So that, to me, Letty Brown being all Big 12, gaining 2 yards per rush average, and doing what he did in scoring, was a big improvement. Total offense in 2019, it was 322 yards per game, In 2020 is 412. That's 91, about 91 yards. Total defense, 399 they're giving up in 2019, 291 in 2020. That's 108 yards. So you're looking at 198, 199 yards difference. 15-point swing in the points, and now about 200 yards in offense and defense. Wow, that's pretty big. When you look here at the WVU turnovers, 1.7, that's 1.1, that's a -6, that's a good job. Total opponents TOs, 1.2, 1.3, that's -0.1, that's a good job. When you look at third down conversion offensively, they were 35% staying on the field on third downs. They moved it up to 42%. Obviously, that's plus 7%. Then you look at 40% in 2019 defensively for third downs, 239. So again, they put it down by a percentage. Red zone scoring, 2019, they were 74%. They raised it up to 88%. That's 14% more. These are big numbers, my friends. So you say, well, what have they done better? Well, this is what they've done. Facts are facts. You know, you can sit there and say, well, I saw them get blown out at Iowa State. Well, we're not looking at one picture here. We're looking at the whole picture. But when you go ahead and look at opponents' red zone scoring, let's go back to the opponent's red zone scoring. It's 89% in 2019. They put that down to 85%. You know, the touchdowns, the Mountaineers in 2019 was scoring 47% in the red zone. 47%, raised up to 61%. It's a big deal. It's truly amazing. And again, it goes back to what is happening with this team. Is this team getting better? Yes, it is. Can you say these are numbers that prove it? Yes, it is. This is the average. I know they didn't play Oklahoma, and who knows what would happen in that game. But again, this is still a major improvement from last year's team. We competed in 8 of the 9 games during the regular season. Competed. Iowa State, yeah, we're throwing it out the door. I'm telling you, we didn't compete. Didn't do it. But again, let's figure out what's going on here in the coaching. You heard Darius Stills. I keep going back to it. It's not just me. What I'm saying, I'm sitting here saying, I'm liking what this is done, man. 1981, I've been through rebuilding. I understand what it means. I'm seeing it. I believe in it. And I'm trusting the climb. Now, there's going to be a shout out for my friend, Keenan Cummings from Rivals.com. Now, I'm not going in and saying who's got better, this or that, stars or rating, whatever. I don't even follow it until they tell me that signing day class is a week away. And then I start to study them, and that's where I go ahead on signing day show and I come out. But I went back to Keenan Cummings. I said, Keenan, tell me, man, what do you think of this recruiting class? It's a smaller class. It's not a full class yet. It will be for sure. But in this class, he said, well, when you look at it, Wolf, he said this class rates out at 3.25 stars per player. And I said, well, how good is that? And he says, that's the best since we've been recording it. I'm going to say it again, because when you want Jimmys and Joes to be your X's and O's, okay, you got to have the blood in recruiting. You got to bring it. And what I'm seeing here, what is Neil Brown and staff doing? They're bringing in the highest rated class per player, 3.25 stars. 4 stars. I mean, I don't know. I guess you can recruit some players that can win in the Big 12 because these guys show they can. So they haven't done it yet, and we'll see. And I'm not going to sit there and say that this class will be the best all time. I'm saying is they're the highest rated class ever since they started recording at WVU. Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like I said, Jimmys and Joes, X's and O's, that's your lifeline, that's your lifeblood, recruiting. Now, I want you to watch this for a short break from our sponsor. And when we come back, I'm going to break down some film for you and give you a little bit more. Darius Stills in our interview. Stay tuned.
Mountaineer Nation, I'm excited to tell you about my favorite sports hangout, Kegler Sports Bar. 25 years, Kegler's has been the central meeting place for the ultimate Mountaineer sports experience. Whether it's wings, burgers, salads, or spirits, Kegler's award-winning menu is sure to be the highlight. Bring your A game to Kegler's Clubhouse, and Kegler's too, before, during, and after all Mountaineer games, as the Kegler girls treat you as a home team.
Here's your Wolfman burger, Wolf.
Exactly. Boom!
Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, this is Gwen. How may I help you?
Hey Gwen, it's Wolfman. You're not gonna believe what I just did. So I'm loading up the Tundra for the Mountaineer tailgate, and I got my grill, my tent, my cooler. I think I've got everything. And then boom, I forgot about the garage door. Now my garage door is tailgating on my Tundra. Gwen, please, help me out.
Okay, Mr. Wolfman, we'll send a crew ASAP.
When disaster strikes the Wolfman, I call the restoration company that the Mountaineers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and you should too. Boom!
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the second letter of the Wolf's Den. This is part 2 of the WolfMan Ramble for the 2020 WVU football recap, brought to you by Little General Stores and Kegler's Sports Bar and Grill. Now, I hope you watched and enjoyed the first part, being that you saw the stats, the comparison between 2019 and 2020, the improvement. I hope you watched the recruiting, the lifeblood of the recruits coming in, the improvement, going up to 3.25 stars, the most ever recorded since they started recording at rivals.com. So again, what are they doing in this culture? Well, you heard what Darius Stills said about the culture, and you see what's going on in the field, but Darius told you what's going off the field, making everybody accountable. And that is the way you build a program. And so you're bringing in the Jimmies and Joes, you're bringing the X's and O's, you're bringing the lifeblood, and then you're going ahead and you're making them accountable. That's what you want. Teammates coming together and playing. I've been around WVU football a long, long time, and this is an excellent thing that I'm watching from where my viewpoint is. So again, is Darius Stills, I want to talk to you about this next part here, because when I think about all the players that are opting out of bowl games, and whatever is the reason, it's not anything that I'm going to sit there and go up or down with. I'm not doing that. But it's important. These bowl games are important. Neil Brown is 4-0 in bowl games, 3-0 at Troy, and now 1-0 at WVU. Didn't go to a bowl game last year, so it was important that we actually went to a bowl game this year. Again, improvement, right? Trusting the climb. And when I go back and I look at past years, and sometimes guys opting out, and this bowl game, it's not college football playoffs. I mean, that's the culture, right? It's not just WVU, it's everywhere. It's not the college football playoffs. So why don't I just go to the NFL and get ready? Well, again, this is a different look by Darius Stills. He's going to talk about it, but if you want, you can catch the entire interview, and I'm encouraging you to, at goldandbluenation.com. goldandbluenation.com. He is fantastic. Okay, he's intelligent, he's great on the field, and he's a great person off the field. Go check it out, goldandbluenation.com. But let's see what Darius has to say. Hey, man, now let's go to the bowl game, because when I look at that bowl game, there's so many players opting out for whatever reason, whether it be COVID, whether it be to the next level. You did not want to, and I want to know why. Because
I remember my sophomore year, a lot of the guys that were going to the next level opted out, and we felt like we weren't confident because all of our best guys weren't playing. And I don't want to put that on my guys either, because we got to this point with me, and I want to finish with you too. And I'm a captain, so it's honestly I just like doing the right stuff, and I don't want to see my boys go into battle without me, especially against a team like Army. And I know that in order to win, we gotta have everybody there. And playing my brother too last game, that was emotional. After the game, he had shed a few tears, and those good tears we won. But I don't want to see my guys go into battle without me. And I knew that we had to win.
Yeah, I looked at you and I saw you just sitting there on the football field at the Liberty Bowl, and I can see you're soaking it all in, and I think you realized you came to the culmination of your college career, although bowl games are still ahead for what you have coming. But again, when I look at you, I'm thinking, man, he's soaking it in. I kind of like been there before in my last game as a Mountaineer. What were you thinking?
Just that I got the job done. Going to this game, regardless of me playing or not, I wanted to get the job done and win. And that was the most important thing to us. And I knew that we got the job done. I could finally take a breath. And just soaking it all in, looking at the fans, telling me thank you. It was a lot. And I just wanted to just take every single second of that in before I had to get off the field.
Didn't want to see these guys going to battle without him. When he was a sophomore, he felt like all the best players on the team were gone. They weren't confident. Neil Brown is 4-0 in bowl games. He treats them important, to be important. He does what a head coach, in my opinion, should do. Again, is you can sit there and say what you want about opting out the NFL. It's your choice, and I'm not going to come down on anyone, and I'm not going to make any judgments other than the fact that when you go ahead and meet your obligation, as Darius Stills did, to his university, to his teammates, to his brother, and he felt that obligation, even though it was Army of all teams that go after your legs. Let me show you again. Now, I showed you this one other time in the other Wolf's Den, but it bears to be seen again. You can see Darius here, and Army's got to come off, and they're going to do a twofer on him. And the guard's going to go and try to hook him with his right arm. And the tackle is going to go ahead and go after his left leg. So you got your right leg and your left leg being messed with. Darius Stills, WVU's 12th consensus All-American, feeling an obligation. The bowl games are important. Didn't want to do that to his teammates because he knew what it felt like, or he knew, what it felt like when he was a sophomore when players opted out. And now he didn't want to do that. I think that says a lot about Darius Stills. There we go. Roll it. You see him getting hooked? Look at the leg. That's tough. That's really tough. When you're going there, you really think that your legs are your lifeline to the NFL, and these guys are up there grabbing your legs, chopping it both at the same time. And look at him there. Think that hurt? I know that hurt. I know it did. There's no doubt in my mind. Now let's go ahead and take a look at his brother, and you're going to see Dante. Now Dante has the same skill set as Darius does. Very similar players, and it's really nice to see that he is coming back. And if you saw in the interview with Darius, you saw that Dante was looking at his brother as a leader and an example. So now Dante says he's time for him to carry the torch. Now, we're going to see that. But if he does, and he does what Darius did, this guy's going to have a phenomenal senior year. We're going to see Dante's going to blow right through the offensive lineman, and he's going to make a TFL. And his speed, explosion, is the same thing that you see with the other Stills. Roll it. Again, he comes up right through him. Yeah, let's go. Get in there. Makes the TFL. Great job. Pressures him right to the sideline. That is an awesome job. And if you don't know this, WVU held Army, by my count, this is my count, I could have screwed up the counting plays because, I'm old. But I counted like 36 times that WVU held Army to like 2 yards or less, or somewhere right around 2 yards or less on a rush. 36 times out of 57. That is huge, huge, huge number. Okay, let's take a look at who else is coming back in the D-line. Akeem Mesidor, freshman, All-American. He was outstanding. 5 sacks, 6.5 TFLs. He came in and played at crucial times. Really surprised. I saw him in camp. I'm like, wow, this young man's going to play. Well, not only did he play, but he came out and he exploded. absolutely huge, and really excited about his future. Are they going to move him in Darius's spot? What are they going to do? Are they going to bring another player, Quake Mays? I'm not sure, but he will be out there somewhere along the line. Take a look here. Akeem Mesidor, freshman All-American, really big, great explosion, great athlete. I mean, they even lined him up at middle linebacker a couple times when he had a sack and out there. I think it was Kansas State. But anyways, Akeem Mesidor, special cat coming back on the D-line. And again, there's some other guys too you don't know about. We'll find out and see. But now let's take a look here. You're going to see Scotty Young. Now, he's the transfer from Arizona. He was not eligible until this bowl game. He came out, he started for Tyke Smith, who apparently was in an accident, and filled in very nicely for Tyke. He had 4 tackles, and here's one of them. Roll it. Again, let's take a look. Very nice. Scotty Young will be a nice addition into the secondary next season. Very, very nice. Who knows where he's going to end up playing? For sure. Now, let's take a look here. Again, this is going to be Josh Chandler Sumedo making the interception. Now, he had 13 tackles, had a pick to end the game here, made 2 all-bowl teams for his performance here in the Liberty Bowl. Roll it. Again, he's going to just follow the receiver on the inside, and he's going to show that he's got hands too. Now, this young man, Josh Chandler Sumedo, is a tough guy. And his story is very interesting. You should check him out and read up on him because he's a tough player. And he had to fill in quite a few times for Tony Fields, middle linebacker this past season. And he did an outstanding, fine job. 3rd on the team, 64 tackles, despite missing a couple of games. And let's go here now to what I really want to see. I am convinced about 2 things defensively and why this defense got better. Not only did it get better, it got really good. Number 1, Power 5 defense, 291.4, right? Okay, so the first one is against the rush. And I am convinced that, you might think I'm crazy, that the twist against the running game is to counter the gun on the offenses that they do now. Because when you see it, they have time to actually twist and move around and come over the top. Offensive linemen can't do that. So if you can get a defensive lineman to plant, you're going to see Dante is going to plant, and then Darius is going to come over the top. Now, he's going to go in motion. He's going to get the ball. Same thing as the gun. It's even though it's coming from a wing. But you're going to see Dante plant up against the offensive lineman so that Darius can come over. He's going to make the tackle. I am convinced that this is the defense's counter and along the defensive line to actually stopping the gun rushing. Roll it. Check it out. They see Darius come in. Look at Darius come off and explode the ball. You think he's going to do pretty good at the next level? Look at him hit this guard. Oh, look at Dante here. Yeah, that's very nice. Dante holds the line. Darius comes over and gets involved in the tackle. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, again, as you're going to see, Darius is just going to come over and just smack him. He's going to post. Call that posted up. You know what I mean? In basketball, you see post up, bigs. There we go. Roll it. Post up. Darius comes up, delivers the blow to the guard, and then he gets off and makes the tackle. Again, I really think what you're seeing here is a counter to, it takes longer for the running backs or receivers, whoever it is, to take the ball from the quarterback and to run up from the gun. It gives the defensive lineman more time to operate along the line of scrimmage, and it screws up the offensive lineman, especially when they're going the zone offense concept. I think it's actually pretty sharp, really sharp. Now, here's the other reason on defense. The last one I got here is what I think this defense was so successful, why it improved so much, and because in the Big 12, it's all about field, all about space, and all about mostly quarterbacks that can run. And what you had here is Tony Fields. And Tony, of course, had 88 tackles, 4 TFL, something like that. He was all over the field. And again, Darius Stills in the defensive line had a lot to do with Tony Fields and his success. But 88 tackles is a lot of tackles. That's 9.8 he had per game. And he missed 3/4 of the Texas Tech game. And if you remember, Colombi, the Texas Tech quarterback, ran a lot, moved the chains a lot with his legs. And I think we really missed Tony Fields out there. But when he's got speed to go sideline to sideline and speed to keep up with quarterback or running backs, whoever it may be, that is the key to do. So whatever the Mountaineers have, they got to have a guy that runs. I'm convinced that this cat here is important, so important that he's got to be able to run. He's got to be able to cover sideline to sideline, the Big 12, excuse me. He's got to cover the field. Roll it. Tony Fields, fast cat, quick cat, played his heart out. It's a great addition for WVU. Not sure where the Mountaineers would have been without him. But again, he's right there controlling the quarterback. I've seen him make plays all year long where if he did not make those tackles in the open field, the quarterback or the running back would have had a lot of extra yards after initial contact. I'm telling you, I really believe that. Let's go ahead and move to the offense now. And this is something if you follow me at all, you know that I love tight ends. I dig tight ends because I think that they're the most underrated position in, let's say, college football, because I think they're just starting to come to them now. I don't think that they've been highly touted or used. Iowa State, for example, and obviously everybody's like, wow, look at these tight ends. They're in even matchups, and they can block too. So they're half offensive lineman, half tight end. And again, wow, if you can use that and use it to the offense's pleasure and advancement, man, it's a huge weapon. And again, when you look at Michael O'Loughlin and you look at TJ Banks, they've really come along. I'm going to say this now. The age of the tight end at WVU is here. That's what I'm saying. The age is here. And again, what I love about all the tight end stuff that they do with the wide receivers as well, they do all these pre-snap motions and trades of, changing, the strength of the formation from one side to the next. Great job here by the offensive coaches and what they do, and great execution here all year long with all the motioning and trading that they did. Here we go. Let's roll. Yeah, Michael O'Loughlin is going to come in. Now, this is what I dig. This is cool. Watch this. He stops right next to the center Chase Barron. And you got these two are responsible for these two. So these two and these two are responsible. And so they're going to do a combo block, but it really kind of turns into an ISO. Now, if you saw what I did against in the game Kansas State, I gave Michael O'Loughlin the big hit of the week because he did an ISO right on the linebacker. And it was old school, man, through and through. Let's go. Let's take a look here at O'Loughlin. Roll it. Very nice. Coming back. You got to like this. You got to dig this, man. And then, of course, you got Letty Brown. And we talked about him in the first part. And again, he averaged 101 yards rushing on the ground. Really big improvement for him. He had 9 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving, 11 touchdowns. Led the team in that. 5 yards. First team, all Big 12. And you got to, and how about Zach Frazier, the freshman All-American left guard? I mean, that's almost unheard of. True freshman. So you have Akeem Mesidor on defense line, and then Zach Frazier as a freshman on offense. And I just think that is really, really impressive. And then again, love the playing here with the tight ends. We're going to see it here, TJ Banks. He's going to go ahead, and he's going to, again, come in motion up here, and he's going to block, going to hand the ball off away from him. But again, the tight end is involved in the game. The tight ends are out on the field. Roll it. You see here, TJ goes into motion. Letty moves up into the gun position. He gets the ball. Excellent. Look at TJ coming off. He had a very, very good year. Learning how to block. Hey, once you learn how to block and you're giving your effort out there as a tight end, that's when they want to feed you, if you can catch the ball, right? So when you go ahead and block, you give your effort, you earn the right to go ahead and get this here. Now you're going to see TJ coming off the ball, and he's going to do a seam route. And you see, this is actually 2 tight ends here. This is really 12 personnel. And when you see this here, TJ's just going to go vertical. Why don't they cover tight ends down the seam? Why don't they? I don't know. Roll it. Very nice. Look at that vertical space, man. Again, I see this all the time, and I'm thinking, throw it to the tight end. Throw it to the tight end. And they did. You go ahead and block like TJ Banks has been doing this season. That's your rewards, man. That's your cupcake, your dessert. Let's go. Now, let's go ahead and check out here. Mr. O'Loughlin, I told you the tight end is here. I think it's here to stay. Recruiting a couple other tight ends. There's like 5 tight ends now in the room. Wow, pretty impressive. Again, let's take a look here at O'Loughlin. You're going to see the pre-snap motion here to the wing, and then he's going to come off on an arrow route for the touchdown. And actually a pretty nice catch because it probably was be pretty easy to drop. Roll it. Again, you see him go in motion, does the trade, changes the strength of formation, arrow route, touchdown. 15 receptions on the season. Michael O'Loughlin really had an impressive year. I was really, really impressed with him. And think that the age of the tight end is definitely here for sure. Again, now let's go ahead and look at some of the receivers. And I know I've heard it all. Oh, the receivers, man, they stink. They drop the ball. Well, actually, we got some youngins in there, and I see them getting better. And here's the thing. Let's look at this right now. This could be Winston Wright Jr. Now, Winston Wright Jr. led the team with receptions with 47. He averaged 12 yards per catch. He didn't drop too many. Let's take a look here at Winston Wright, and you're going to see him in this reception here. I think it's impressive. His route running is excellent. He's young. He's only a true sophomore. And again, as he had 47 receptions, he led the team. The future is very, very bright. I think it's going to be excellent. Again, don't forget about his excellent return ability in the kickoff returns. Again, now let's take a look here. And we're going to see Sean Ryan come out and get the reception here. Again, let's take a look at number 10. He's on the outside. He's number 1 down below. Right there. He's going to come out, and he's just going to do a little button. Now, Sean Ryan has caught a total of 25 catches this season. I really thought, I was like, where's Sean Ryan been? In camp, I thought he was impressive. Where's he been the first few games? For the last 4 games, including this bowl game, Sean Ryan has caught 18 balls. 18 of his 25 balls in the last 4 games of the season. Roll it. Now, here's another guy. He's coming back. He's going to be there. He's going to get the ball eventually, and then he's going to run. He's got more speed than people think. He's got more moves, and he's got craft. Sean Ryan's a great addition. Now, this guy here is, I'm telling you, Bryce Ford Wheat. He's getting a bad rap because he is going to be something special. I'm telling you right now. If he keeps his head in the game and he has an off season, like I think he should, this guy could be special. And I mean really special. 27 receptions, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 15 yards per reception. And don't tell me about it. Yeah, he dropped it in the end zone. Yes, he did. I also saw a lot of Steelers drop balls this past season. So it does happen. I don't know why. But once again, this young man, Bryce Ford Wheat, could be outstanding, in my opinion. Roll it. Once again, you see him coming here. He's number 0. He's going to get the ball. This is a cat, man. I'm telling you, this young man, give him the confidence, give him the ball. Feed him, feed him, feed him. Roll it. Special. Look at this. He's big. You know how big he is? I mean, he looks like he's an impressive mythological figure, man. I mean, he's an Adonis. And with the skills that he has, he could be really something special. He's going to keep getting better and better. Trust me. Again, now, let's take a look here. Okay, we talked about the bowl games being important. And once again, I see Coach Brown come out. He's usually got something up his sleeve. Well, this is a 2-pointer here, and the swing gate. And if you see here, Army's got a bunch of smart cats out there in the field. Okay, you got to be smart to be at West Point. They probably wouldn't let this guy in at West Point to be a cadet. But again, let's take a look here. TJ Simmons, he drops the ball, but this is a very cool play in a bowl game. There you go. Let's roll it. Look at the swing. He comes out, makes it. I love this play. I love the fact that he used this in a bowl game. It would have been successful. Look at the combo block there by the offensive lineman coming up, and he would have scored easily. Could have walked in. Really, too bad he dropped it, but he did score some touchdowns. So he's forgiven. We love him. We wish him the best. But again, take a look here from out here. The outside. Wow, that's the swing gate. Man, when do you see that? And then the last play. Reese Smith is a freshman. Even he has 11 receptions on the season and started off really strong. Faded a little bit. He's a freshman. Not surprised by that at all. But all he does is catch footballs. Again, where's the future of these receivers? Man, it's right there. What about the recruiting that we're bringing in? I mean, think about this. This pool is a nice pool of receivers, and give them a year to work together. Again, they really didn't have many opportunities in the summer to work. So the actual development of these receivers was not given a full amount of ability to develop and improve. Let's put it that way. But again, let's take a look here. I love it. You see the motion coming out, reverse. This is huge. This takes the team, the Mounties, from 22 points to 24 and makes it a field goal. But the team has to get a field goal to tie and can't win. This is a big, big play here. Again, what do you do on a big play? Well, you go ahead and you give it to a freshman, a true freshman, Reese Smith, one that Coach Brown obviously had confidence in the coaching staff, but not that many other people are thinking about at that moment. So again, is kind of, in there, lying down low in the bushes, and he comes out and he makes a huge 2-point play. So that is my recap. That is the Wolf's Den recap. I'd like to show you a few other things, but I think we just get long and go on and on and on. A couple of things that are happening right now is the Wolf's Den is going on the Bob Huggins show. I just completed my second segment of that, and I'm loving it. Love the basketball. The team's in transition. They're trying to get a new identity, and bear with them for sure. You can go there and understand. You got to have Huggins and the coaching staff. They're changing everything. They were practicing all summer, all fall, and then with 9 or 10 games, they had to go ahead and change direction against the number 2 team, against the number 4 team, against Big 12 competition, right out in front of everybody. Had to find out a new identity right in front of everybody. So when you go ahead and you lose by 2 in the last second at Texas, I'm not feeling terrible. I'm disappointed in the loss, but I know that these guys are battling and they're trying to find themselves in a transitional period. So that's number 1. Number 2 is we're going to go ahead this spring, and we're going to hopefully break down some older Mountaineer football games for you and bring you a little bit of history coming at you. Kind of excited about that. I'm looking forward to breaking some film down, studying. Who knows what we can bring here for the WolfMan Ramble. But for 2020, my friends, all I can say is this. When they say trust the climb, trust the climb. You heard Darius Stills, Consensus All-American, talk about who he believes he's trusting the climb. All these players that are coming back next year, they're young, they're trusting the climb. This is only the second season. This is the 3rd year of development. If they get a chance to really develop in this year 3, man, watch out. This team could definitely surprise everybody in 2021. And the last thing I want to say is this. So happy that bowl games are important again. That, my friends, is the WolfMan Ramble. This is part 2. Thank you to Little General Stores and Kegler Sports Bar and Grill all season long. And we're going to keep continuing. Let's go Mountaineers. Boom!